Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1, ESPN FC live on a Sunday. Mark Donaldson alongside the former Liverpool defender Stevie Nicol. Liverpool back on top of the table after Manchester City's late win at Molineux earlier. What kind of game was this, Stevie Nicol? Because it's a really good 3 points against a Liverpool side that were questioned by Chelsea in spells, but they got the job done. How do you think they got the job done today?
My goodness. Well, it wasn't through possessing the ball. It wasn't through dominating the game. It wasn't through taking the game to Chelsea. They were organised. They defended well. Other than Jackson's goal, there really wasn't another chance where I'm thinking Chelsea should have scored. At the same time, Chelsea, for me, were the team that took the game to Liverpool. I mean, the honest truth is, the best, in football terms, the best team lost today. If you're Chelsea, you're wondering how you haven't got in and out of this game. Liverpool, no question. It was about counter-attacking. Doesn't sit well with me that, at Anfield, Liverpool counter-attacking is not something, certainly under Klopp, we were used to. But that's what we saw today. And that kind of gives a pointer towards big games coming up. We've got Arsenal next. It's going to be a similar performance, I've got to think. Because I don't see how you counter-attack and sit tight against Chelsea at home and not do the same against Arsenal. So I'm a little conflicted, to be honest. You're right. It is 3 good points. I think we saw a Chelsea side today that under Maresca are going forward and no question have taken some big strides forward. Liverpool, I'm a little unsure to the credentials for a championship team. They didn't play like champions today, although they got the result.
Interesting comments, because if Liverpool play Arsenal next week, counter-attack and win, does it matter how they play?
No, but I think in terms of going forward and what what I expect Liverpool to be, that's why I'm talking in the terms I am. I don't see a Liverpool team who are going out and who are going to grab the title. We're going to win this title. This is what we're doing. We're playing to win this title. They look a little hesitant, because that's what they looked like today. They looked hesitant. And the other thing is, if you're going to sit tight and you're going to counter-attack, eventually you have to close the ball. And there wasn't enough of that going on whatsoever. I mean, Chelsea got at Liverpool's back line way too easy. Unfortunately for Liverpool, Chelsea going forward went on it. They went, and the final third, the attacking third, went at the best because they got there too often and too easily during this game. And I think clearly Liverpool missed a 100% fit McAllister.
Okay, let's get to the goals. The first one's a penalty from Mo Salah, and it's given after a foul by Colwill on Curtis Jones. It's a penalty. Just before that, Mo Salah went down, tried to buy. There was a free kick outside the box. Advantage was played, got inside the box. Wasn't a penalty. So there was still that pressure of the fans. Kop was up the other end, but the Liverpool crowd at Anfield, can influence. But it's a penalty. Colwill with a silly challenge on Curtis Jones, who I thought was outstanding today. And Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does very well and scored from the spot. Did that give Liverpool the impetus that you hoped it would give them?
I can't honestly sit here and turn around and say, oh, yeah, the game totally changed. The penalty came against the run of play. You can't argue that. It's if Chelsea have a problem, it's defensively. Up until this game today, they don't look secure. And Colwell's challenge is a panic challenge. That's what it is. There's nothing composed about it. He's unsure of what's going on around him, has a flail at the ball and ends up kicking Curtis Jones. I mean, that's poor defending, and that's given Liverpool a penalty kick. But again, it was against the run of play. And so to go in at half-time 1-up, I think Liverpool would be quite fortunate now. Yes, Chelsea right at the start of the second half, get themselves back in it. And again, they look as though they're going to be the team that steps forward once again. And against the run of play, Liverpool get that second goal with Curtis Jones. Reece James at the back post makes a stupid decision again to try and play Jones offside. Jones does really well. Good ball from Salah. And Liverpool are in front again. And then yet again, they take a step back. And it's all about sitting tight and trying to break. So, listen, both goals for me are against the run of play. I don't think I can remember Liverpool with an opportunity where, again, you're saying they should have scored. You know, both teams probably were guilty of that, having gotten in the final third. They never really created clear-cut open chances, other than the Curtis Jones one. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a great victory. It's a great 3 points. But from a Liverpool point of view, it certainly wasn't inspiring.
It's different, isn't it? It's different from what you're used to. You might have drawn that game playing the rock and roll football last season and previous seasons under Jurgen Klopp. But it's here to stay, isn't it? It's Arne Slot's style of play. But if he gets results in the long term, you can't be critical. But it's just different. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It is different. You know, we are not used to seeing Liverpool at Anfield meek and mild, because that's what it felt like. It felt a little meek and mild. It felt like they were just saying to Chelsea, "On you go. We come and you have the ball and come and play, and then we'll break on you and hurt you." It worked, but it's not what we're used to, as you said, and it certainly wasn't particularly enjoyable. You know, I'm sat here with the butterflies every 5 minutes, because you know, particularly at the end. And again, Gravenberg in the second half, when things were getting tough, you talk about a guy standing up and being counted. I mean, I don't know where this guy's come from, because had Liverpool let him go at the end of the season, I'd have been the last person to complain. But so far, there's no question he's been the find for Liverpool of the season.
We've spoken a lot about Liverpool. What about Chelsea today? Liverpool, I thought, did a good job of keeping Cole Palmer quiet. Obviously, they got their equalising goal thanks to VAR. And again, like you and I spoke earlier today with Wolves against Man City, VAR eventually getting the right decision. So no complaints there. It looked like they got the right decision with Robert Sanchez, with the challenge on Curtis Jones, where the penalty was overturned as well. What did you make of Chelsea on the whole? What's different from the previous Chelsea style and managers to the one we see now, and we saw today at Anfield under Enzo Maresca?
They absolutely look as though they have a purpose. They're organised. They play it out from the back. I mean, they played it from back to front today at Anfield, away from home. I thought they looked real smooth. I mean, they looked well coached. They looked smooth. I mean, up until the final third, and that's where you've got to do it. You can't control the game and get yourself into the final third, regardless of who the opposition is, and then not produce, particularly in a big game like today. You know, the amount of times they were in that spot and didn't find the final touch, the final pass, the final decision, whatever it may be. And yes, Cole Palmer was quiet. And all the nice things that everybody said about him, he's going to have to produce it in the big games. And he's yet to do that. But yeah, if I'm Maresca, I'm disappointed. I'm going home tonight wondering how we didn't take advantage of this. And at the end of the day, he's got to look at his front players. You know, Madueke in the first half, I thought a couple of times blew past Robertson. So again, feed him the ball. You know, I don't think Neto on the other side was given enough of the ball to get after Alexander-Arnold. Jackson took his goal well. But yeah, if you're Chelsea, you're disappointed having controlled the game, because they really had control of it for most of it, I felt. And so when you do that, you have to take advantage of the control, and they didn't do that. And that would be the one thing, if I'm Maresca, I'm really, really disappointed about the amount of time you had the ball in good areas and just didn't produce. That's really where I think he needs to to try and do some more work and get them into a better place in terms of producing that final pass or whatever it may be.
Yeah, for everything you've said there, Kelleher didn't really have as much to do as you would think from a team that probably came to Anfield and had more of the ball, like you said, and played the way that they played. Do they have the right players there that will get them goals? Because we know they can create, but if Cole Palmer doesn't score, who does? Nico Jackson got a goal today. Is he the answer? I mean, they're now. We're seeing them up here now. They were just another team with some good players that couldn't really defend. But do they need to get to that next level to be a top 4 contender? Let's not put them as a title contender. To be a top 4 contender, do they have the right striker in play that can see them finish in the top 4 and maybe do better?
I have to say I'm not a huge fan of Jackson. Everybody tells me that if you look at stats, he's got goals. I'm sorry. For me, they're not. They may get in the top 4 if they perform the way they did today against Liverpool at Anfield. If they produce that type of certainly football to get themselves up to the final third, then they could be a top 4 side. But they're not a championship side. I'm sorry. I don't believe Jackson's the answer. Madueke is still potential. Neto, I think, is still a bit of potential when he figures out really his role and what he needs to do. Obviously, Palmer's a player. If Nkunku can step up and produce the way he did in Germany, then they've got some weapons. But right now, going forward, they need to do better with the amount of ball they have.
7 wins from 8 for Liverpool. The only better start to the season was when they won the title under Jurgen Klopp a few years ago. But it was the style of the victory that Stevie Nicol wasn't overly happy with today. That's maybe unfair. It wasn't a case of being overly unhappy with.
No, it's not. No, that's absolutely spot on. That's absolutely spot on. Look, Liverpool at Anfield, we expect certain things. Look, there's a reason why we are criticising Manchester United so much, because we expect a certain thing from a Man United football team. That's just a fact. And right now, or certainly previously, Liverpool sized at Anfield at home with a crowd behind them, we expect a certain type of performance. And certainly, no question, under Jurgen Klopp, we absolutely got what we wanted. Arne Slot seems to be doing it a different way. It's so far a winning way, but it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Because at the end of the day, as you say, it's about winning. But we'd just like to do it a little bit differently than we did today.
How do you feel if you win the title playing like that? You're delighted, aren't you?
Yeah, of course you are.
So,
listen, we're always wanting more.
Change, huh? It's the way it is. It's just different. And Liverpool got a big 3 points. They're top of the table again after City win earlier. And that was a big test today against a really good Chelsea side. They might have had a lot of the ball today, but Chelsea got 1 goal. Liverpool got 2. And that meant all 3 points. Bye for now.